Are you guys ready for another Trooper Steve on patrol? I know I am. I'm Trooper Steve, Steven Monteiro, your traffic safety expert here at WKMG News 6. And this is what we call Trooper Steve on patrol. We are inside Results One, our live streaming machine. So sometimes we get to do live streams. Other times we get to put together amazing segments like this, mobile, just us out here and the Webmaster Catholic controlling everything. But today, like I said earlier in the week, I wanted to focus on the basics. Get back to the basics. Everyone has all these New Year's resolutions and all this stuff. How about we just focus on driving good? I think that'd be nice, right? So there's been some debate. We talked about it in Ask Trooper Steve. I thought, let's go out and show it because it's easy to talk about it. At least I think it's very easy, but some of you have a hard time getting through some things. So we're talking about the basic stop sign, the do's, the don'ts, stop bar, stop line, whatever you want to call it, versus the stop sign. How do they work? Do they work against each other? Do they work with each other? And that's what we're going to cover exactly today. So like with every segment that we do, I want to make sure that you know where I'm getting my information from. So if we're covering a Florida law of some type, it always starts with a Florida statute somewhere, right? That's where this craziness comes from. So Florida statute 316.123. Yes, that's the statute. 123. Very easy to remember. 316 always covers traffic, and then dot whatever it is. So point 123, vehicles entering stop and yield intersections. This was very hard for me back in the day to explain to drivers because there's two parts. There are two parts to a stop sign, not just stopping. You have to yield right of way. So sometimes a driver would get into a crash because they'd stop and then go through the stop sign and ultimately violate someone's right of way. And when you'd issue them a citation, they'd be really upset. But I stopped. Well, you did, but it takes two. You got to stop and yield. So it would be a subsection violation. So on that citation, I would annotate, the computer would generate, ran the stop sign, and that would trigger a driver. But in the notes, it would be violation of the subsection. So what do I mean by that? 316.123 says the right-of-way of an intersection may be indicated by stop signs or yield signs. So you have to make sure you're paying attention. What rules apply to me when I approach it? How do you know it? By paying attention, right? 2A, except when directed to proceed by a police officer or another traffic control signal, every driver of vehicle approaching a stop intersection indicated by a stop sign shall stop at a clearly marked stop line. Not may, not may be, shall. Very key, very specific word. So you must come to a complete stop at the stop line. If none, so it does talk about this, it says before entering the crosswalk on the near side of the intersection, or if none, then at that point nearest to the intersection roadway where the driver has a view of approaching traffic on the intersection roadway before entering the intersection. Boom. Very formal compared to what I said, right? Then it continues on. We're going to finish this and then we're going to demonstrate, right? After having stopped, here it is, the driver shall yield the right-of-way to any vehicle which has entered the intersection from another highway or which is approaching so closely on said highway or road as to constitute an immediate hazard during the time when the driver is moving across within the intersection. There it is. So what do we mean by that? Meaning, sometimes that stop bar is going to be in a place you don't like. It might be a little early. It might be further back than what you think. But traffic engineers are the ones that have done this. For example, here, front of my vehicle, I'm going to exit. There's a stop sign, but there's a stop bar on the floor. I'm going to stop here. They want me to stop here. Why? Because there is a crosswalk to my left. So I'm stopping prior to the crosswalk. Then I'm allowed to inch forward a little bit so that I can see what's going on. I'm now yielding to these other cars that are already in the main area. I am waiting. And then part two, I've yielded. Guess what, guys? We're going. When you see it and you hear it, it makes some sense. Some sense. Not all the time, but we'll demonstrate it a few times. I want to show you what it looks like from outside the vehicle. Because what happens is there is a large dump truck doing its thing, and I don't want to impede it, so I'm just staying out of its way. We're gonna go around, up and around. All right, so seeing it and doing it from in here is one way, but now I want to show you what it looks like from outside the vehicle, because stopping at the bar is hard here, because you're like, why are you stopping me so far back? But it's prepping you for whatever danger might be approaching. So you have to be really weary of that situation. Sometimes the stop bar is going to be by railroad tracks. Sometimes stop bar is going to be at a crossing trail, because it wants you to stop there first, then part two to yield the right of way. All right. So let's demonstrate again. We're going to go up to said crosswalk and check it out again. Let's come on up. So as we approach the crosswalk, you'll see my vehicle kind of come into the screen here. As it comes into the screen, I'm going to stop here. I'm yielding just in case anybody else is out on the road. I'm checking for other traffic coming. There is a car coming, so I'm going to wait. As I'm waiting, I'm checking the crosswalk, and then I'll pull forward. To some people that may be, my gosh, why do you have to do this so much? Why is the stopping required? Well, the traffic engineers have mapped it out in a way that they're taking into play other people. It's not just about us. So recapping, 316, if you're just joining on to New 6 Plus and happen to turn on your TV or hopped on to clickorlando.com, we're covering some basic stuff this morning. Stop signs, stop bars. Do they play against each other, or do they work together? And I'm going to tell you right now, it's a cohesive relationship. Where there's a stop bar, you stop there first, then you yield right of way in case anybody else is out there. 316.123 in Florida statute does talk about this clear as day. It's pretty nice. So if you don't yield right of way and a crash occurs, then technically you violated that stopping at the stop sign statute. What did we also cover? Why does the stop bar stay so far back sometimes? Well, it's because it is prepping for possibly other vehicles, other situations to occur. So we're going to pull back up over here, pop up to camera 5 again. So you can see, as you approach the stop sign, you want to begin to slow down, yield a little bit. Car in front of me, let's see, doesn't do a good job. The car didn't even stop at the stop sign or the stop bar. You should stop, like results 1 is doing, then you can yield and look forward a little bit for your vision. But like that other car did, kind of just went right through it. That's not a yield sign. That is a clear stop sign. So if you need any other traffic information, I need you to head over to clickorlando.com. We have a dedicated traffic page of all our segments that we get to do here at News 6, and then bring them to you on clickorlando.com and New 6 Plus. Guys, any questions that you have, anything you want me to cover, you want to see it here on New 6 Plus, email me. I have a few ways you can contact me. You can send me an email to asktroopersteve@wkmg.com. You can send it to my personal work email at smontiero@wkmg.com, or genuinely hit me up on any social media platform in a direct message at Trooper Steve. I control my social media with If you're messaging me, nice, mean, kind, angry, just know I'm getting that message directly. So you're going to get what you give. I love you guys. I want you to be safe out here. As always, please, please, please drive safely. What else do we have going on? Have some really cool streams scheduled, trying to get them scheduled to come up here in the next couple of days. But if you have an idea and you want us to cover that, just message us anytime. Results One is, we'll go anywhere in our viewing area to cover anything that you guys really want to see, hear, or do. I'm going to yield right away. I'm going to stop at the stop bar here before pulling out. And I'm going to go pick up that other camera before someone snatches it up. Until then, guys, I love you all. Drive safely. Have a great day. And I'll see you guys later.